So the big question is this: how these entrepreneurs who started from scratch and had no idea how to sell or market their products or services online, and then later on made over 6 figures, 7 figures, or even 8 figures, became best in their niches and found their dream customers to sell. My name is RJ Ahmed, and find this all out in our Interviews with Entrepreneurs show. I interviewed these entrepreneurs and tried to pick their brain of how they actually did that and how they took their business as well as their life to the next level. This podcast is all about the entrepreneurs who strive so hard to become super awesome in their niches. Welcome to Interviews with Entrepreneurs. Welcome to Interviews with Entrepreneurs show, where we interview entrepreneurs who are super awesome in their niches. And RJ here back with another insane guest. And today's guest is amazing, crazy. She created insane community out there. She created a cult, I must say. And a little bit about her: she is funnel hacking live speaker, and also she knows how to monetize content. Not only that, she had her own event called Content Machine Live. We had speakers like Alex Charfen, Steve Larsen, and Russell Brunson. Can you believe it? And please welcome, guys, the one and only Marley Jaxx.
Hello! What an awesome introduction. Thank you.
Hey Marley, thank you so much for hopping on our show. It's great, and finally we are able to have you on our show.
Yeah, I'm happy to be here.
Awesome. So yeah, guys, if you are tuning in live, just use hashtag live. If you're watching it on replay, just use hashtag replay out there. And again, Marley, thank you so much for hopping on. So if by chance, if people don't know about you, which is crazy, can you talk about a little bit of your backstory about how you got started into the space?
Yeah, I was a hygienist, but before I started my business, I was a dental hygienist. Before that, I was in radio and event management, and got to work with some people that lined my bookshelves right now. So I didn't even realize it at the time, but I was getting kind of an education in business and speaking and sharing your message on platforms. And when I was a dental hygienist, I started to create social media content for the dental office and was kind of good at it. So then the IT guy referred me to some of his other clients, and my business just really grew from there. He referred me to not just one client, he referred me to all of his clients. And then all of a sudden I had a business, and I started creating video content for myself so that I could get more clients. And some of those videos really started to blow up. And I thought, well, can I make videos like this for these clients? And then it just all escalated from there.
Yeah, this is absolutely crazy thing out there, because having a background of being a dentist and dental hygienist, and then getting into the marketing side, and as far as I have heard, you were also at that time doing digital marketing for some other people out there.
Yep.
Which was insane. And again, Marley, one of the crazy things that happened in this particular year was watching you on Funnel Hacking Live as a speaker, and with some of the great people that we also had on our show, where Catherine Jones was there, Rachel Pedersen, not only that, Russell Brunson. So how was it a particular experience for you was to be as a Funnel Hacking Live speaker and being on Funnel Hacking Live?
That was a dream come true. And even the year before, one of the first things that I showed when I got on the stage is I pointed up at the stage and I said, next year I'm going to be on this stage. And so being on the stage, I got to show that little clip and said, I just want to thank you guys for making this happen and for believing in me. And I just want to take this time to give back. And over the next 28 minutes, just gave all the value that I could. And so it was for me, I wanted to be able to share my message with an audience that had inspired me so much, that the ClickFunnels community teaches you how to build a business, how to exceed your goals to 7 figures, 8 figures, and gives you all the tools you need possible. So it was a really great opportunity to be able to speak to that audience that really built me.
I think this is so important out there, manifestation, thinking about and have some sort of a goal out there, okay, and have a complete idea. I don't know how I will end it over there, but I will certainly, it will start to happen out. And which is super important to make that thing happen, and you already did that, which is amazing. And Marley, there is a complete time. Let's talk about your event, which was Content Machine Live, and I was unfortunately, so many things was happening up, I wasn't able to jump on, but at that particular time, I remember we interviewed Luis and Fonzie, the Biz Bros, and we were talking about the event and everything out there, which is insane. And one thing that I've realized, I was in a show. It's called like XNO show. You was also the
Yes.
part of that as well. And at that time, when I was on that particular game, all of them was using your signs and everything, the box that you had, and all their symbols out there. And literally everyone. It was like one or two guys, myself, another person out there. How you go and create a cult like that? It's going to be something like that. It's going to be a cult. Like how you define that, and how should people create a cult like that?
Yeah, how did we do it? Well, I wanted to create a message that just aligned with impact and with profit. Like, why do we
Yeah,
start businesses? Because it's something that we creatively or something that we're passionate about, but also, we want to be able to provide for our families. We want to be able to make a living and have the freedom, the flexibility that maybe we didn't have, and provide that for our loved ones. So when I created the concept of like infinite impact and helping people to create content that makes an impact and not just makes noise, that's also what what I'm always aiming to do with my content. And then being able to bring people into our courses and programs and things, and then also give them, like what you said, the physical paddles that they could use in their videos. It not just like, it spreads my message too, to know like, where did you get that from? Oh, from Marley Jaxx. But then it shows that they are implementing and they are growing from the content that I'm giving them, that just creates that loop of impact.
yeah. And this was that was the point where I was like, some of the people haven't opened the box yet at that particular time, and they were like, no, why the other people are having it? I need to unbox it.
So
It's
cool.
it's never been the time that they're gonna be an unboxing video out there. It's never gonna happen. Let us unbox right away. So it was pretty crazy out here. And again, on the exact same thing, your event, Content Machine Live out there, where you got like amazing speakers like Alex
Mhm.
Charfen, Steve Larsen, and you literally was freaking everywhere out there when you were trying to get Russell Brunson on, as a part of a speaker out there on your event, which was amazing. And
Yeah.
finally, you got Russell after you having two awesome songs.
Yep.
How, and that is one of the concept of Dream 100. You know, how should people do Dream 100 to the people out there, and what are the things they should avoid to do that? Because you've done that amazingly, and it was like insane.
So it was really important for me to, I Russell, I'm in his inner circle. I could have just said, hey, can you speak at my event? But I also wanted to make it so that you stand out. You don't just like text him and ask him, how can I do something that was going to really stand out? And for anyone that you're trying to build a relationship with or stand out for them, how do you do it in a way that is unique and is also really benefiting them? So, I brought together some people and we performed this song, and it was really entertaining, and it created a buzz online. And people who maybe didn't know about ClickFunnels before heard about it, or knew, were interested or had the song stuck in their head. And it also, created, people were talking about it, and it promoted me, it promoted the event, it promoted Russell Brunson. And I also used, some of his friends in the video too, like Steven and Alex and Cristy. Then the next video that I made, I'm not sure if everyone knows this, but the instrumental is his stage entrance music. So it wasn't just like picking a random song. I picked one that is specific to him, that he would know that, and made a rap that was very, I think entertaining and specific to him, and also showcasing other causes and charities and things that he's involved in. I think another way of Dream 100ing people too is not just to do something that is for them, but is for things that they care about. So, if you do something to raise money for their favorite charity or to support their community in another way, like that's another way of showing up in a way that it isn't just trying to get their attention. It's also providing value on a bigger scale.
Yeah, that's absolutely makes sense. You need to identify and you need to outlast other people who are trying to do that as well, because other
Right.
people are doing it as well. And the way that you've done at that particular point was amazing. It was like the first song that you've done, it was like almost a week or 2 weeks, it was in my head. I was like, it's not getting out of my head, which is
Yeah.
amazing, which is crazy out there because it was so good.
Yeah.
And few days back you've done, you showed the behind the scenes and rest of the things out there, which was amazing. So I want to talk about one more thing, which is as you talk about content and how to monetize with content out there. And
Mhm.
one thing that is, super important in content is the art of storytelling,
Mhm.
which is like insane, and which is super important. How you how do you define the art of storytelling and why people are unable to do that part in the content?
With storytelling, and this is something that I learned from Russell Brunson over about a year ago, when he was talking about like the best educators are the ones who spend more time on the stories. And you think about, we as kids, even before we go to bed, what was our excuse for why we wanted to stay up later? Oh, mom, another story, please. Like, it's every story has a moral to the story, or a lesson, or some sort of takeaway. And so when you look at your regular, whatever day-to-day life experiences, it could be a pivotal moment in your life. It could also be something that you overheard at the grocery store. Those are all things that people resonate with and can nod their heads. And as they nod their heads while they're listening to your story, that qualifies them saying, yes, me too, or I understand, or I am the right audience for you. And then that also can lead them to qualifying themselves with their credit card as they're willing to invest in whatever it is that you have to offer, because they've first invested emotionally, because you've told them a story that makes them resonate and say, yes, I agree. This is speaking my language. I am now part of your community.
Yeah, absolutely. It definitely makes sense because like logic tells, emotion sells,
Yes,
which
good
is
one.
also the exact same thing out there, and that's how people should emotionally react. And the best example for the storytelling is Russell Brunson. He
Yep.
might not like to talk about the potato gun and everything out there, but he's like, another time it's happening up, but it works because he crafted that particular story and it is working out there.
Yeah.
So one of the two peoples, when I started my journey out there as a part of an affiliate marketer, and started to get to know other people like you, Catherine Jones, and other people out there, the two most favorite people out there that I had regarding in terms of content was you and Catherine Jones. It was
Oh,
insane content out there, and I
yeah.
told to Catherine as well. She like we got her twice on our show, which was amazing.
Oh, good.
So why aren't people able to make that much of attractive content out there, and why they are not able to monetize it? Because they say they create content, but they are not able to monetize it because it's not attractive at some sort. Why it
Yeah.
happens?
I think a lot of it is false beliefs, internal insecurities, saying like, well, I don't know, I'm not good enough to create that content, or I don't have the right stories. That's for sure. Like the biggest thing that I hear all the time is, I don't have stories, I don't know what to share, I'm too shy, I'm afraid of the camera. So overcoming that, and one of the ways that I just really try to lay it out to overcome it is, what's the consequence of not doing it? And how are you going to feel in a year, 2 years, 3 years, when your competitor is ahead of you? Because they started when you weren't willing to. And also to think of your audience, that they're going to your competitor, and your competitor probably doesn't have the same level of integrity as you do. So you're also doing them a disservice by not creating that content. And when it comes to monetizing the content, it's also about having, there needs to be a call to action in every single piece of content. And sometimes people will say to me, well, I don't want to be spammy. I don't want to say like, oh, click the link and go get this thing, because they know that it's to buy something or get on my list. And the way I answer that is, don't be spammy then. You're giving them value. You're giving them the next logical piece of content that they need. If they have come to your video for how to lose weight and what kind of groceries to get while you're at the grocery store so that you can hit your fitness goals, well, hey, click the link below. I'm going to give you my actual grocery list that you can print out and take it with you. Isn't that convenient? Isn't that fast tracking their results? Isn't that helping them even more? So look at it as prescribing information, not trying to be salesy with scammy or spammy content. It's prescribing them. It's giving them the next thing that they need, value.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what most people get confused about what is value is. They get confused. Every guru, every marketer are talking about value, 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 what value is. And there's some sort of a get confused out there and that particular point, and they need to, optimize it as well. And there was a question, and it was from one of your fellow Canadians out there.
Oh,
And he said, when Marley made her core offer, how she did test it before she, presented it publicly? Like how you test your offer before you publicly test it out?
sure. I tested it many times and failed. One of our core offers, I guess we have our core offer, we positioned it and we promoted it to the public as a beta many times. And I think that running as a beta launch is a great way to position it, because you're getting to build it while these people are going through it. So that way you're getting paid to build it, and you're also getting the immediate feedback for, hey, this is great, this is something else that I need to be successful, here's some other questions I have, so that you can make this program the most successful and most valuable for your audience. But definitely we've tried to launch things in beta that didn't work, that didn't sell, and we had to go back and see, what was it? Was it the offer? Was it the positioning? Was it the price? Was there enough urgency and scarcity on it? So I learned, if you don't win, you learn.
Amazing. It is absolutely amazing out there. It's a nice one. And this is one of the crazy thing out there, that most marketers, or not marketers, most newbies out there get stuck when it comes to publishing out there. Every platform has its own importance out there, but the most important or form of traffic or form of content is a video one, because you can repurpose it in so many ways, which is absolutely crazy. And what newbie marketers comes up, and they tend to have a false belief about that. I'm gonna look ugly. What people say about me when they get on a camera out there. Like I literally told them, hey, I still look ugly, but I'm on a camera. It doesn't make any sense. So why that sort of an imposter syndrome happens with the people out there, that they are thinking about way too much and no one even cares about?
Yeah. Really, you're thinking about you more than anybody else is, because they are also thinking about themselves. And I think that if you have people that are criticizing you, that says more about them than it says about you. And when I work with people, I encourage them to have such conviction in their message that even if someone does come to you and says, you're ugly, your voice is annoying, whatever the thing may be, it's like, cool, I'm not the right person for you. Go ahead and go watch this channel. I've had people that have comments on my videos, and I'm kind of just like, okay, cool. Like I'm not going to make a business decision and stop creating content for this person who my content clearly isn't for.
Yeah. And that is one of the most important things people miss out. They get stuck just in their head out there, and they never get out of it. And once they do, it's like they pull themselves out of the gravity out there, which is important. Once they do that, they will make it happen. Absolutely, that is the case. So like in our show, we also talk about success and life. We also talk about failures, because entrepreneurs do fail. As you said, we fail every single day. So what is the number one mistake that you think that people make out there when they're creating content?
I mean, there's so many things that come to mind, like not having a call to action in your videos, not telling stories, because really, like I kind of compare it to like the university professor that's standing at the front of the room and they're like, wah, 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 wah. Like no one wants to, that's not going to get retention. And really your videos, for them to be successful, for any platform that you're posting them on, for them to put it in front of more people to watch it in the algorithms, is to keep people entertained and engaged throughout it. So that's another thing, is considering, how am I actually turning this content into a storyline? Even in tutorial content that I create, any educational, I'm thinking, how am I leading my audience through this, that they're entertained throughout it, that it's not just step 1, step 2, step 3, dry, boring content. I'm thinking of a storyline, or I'm trying to inject some heart or some humor so that the audience wants to watch it. Because even when you Google something and you find a YouTube video to teach you whatever you're trying to learn, you might look at that little video, grab the little snippet of it, and then like, okay, I got what I came for, click out, and then implement. But when you start watching someone and you're like, they're funny, or I resonate with that story, hey, I really like how they're delivering this content, that's what makes you hit the subscribe button. That's what makes you click the link below to opt into the thing. So it's also about coming across as a human, speaking to a human, not just creating content and speaking to a camera. And that's actually, I'll probably end with that, is that's one of the biggest things that I teach people, is when you are teaching on video or copy anything, is know who you're speaking to. Like pinpoint an individual in your mind. It could be someone you make up. It could be one of your favorite clients, one of your favorite students, or just someone that you follow that you hope sees this piece of content, and write it for them, knowing that you are speaking to a human being.
Yeah, this is super important thing for people to understand out there, that they feel like these things are happening up, and indeed it's happening. But if they try to make somehow it better, they will get better results out of it and out of that particular point. Yeah. And the recent thing, what's happening with you are some sort of challenges out there. You're giving yourself challenges on your Facebook, which is amazing, which is absolutely crazy. I saw one of them where you're talking about you're eating hot things out there, and you're doing calls, webinars out there, some sort of that stuff, which is amazing. And these
Yeah.
type of challenges requires consistency, and it requires a lot of consistency out there. And these are a lot of what we can say awkward. These are crazy things, and people who are bound to make crazy changes make these crazy things happen, and which is amazing. Like in these type of things, and I should talk about challenges out there. People miss out the consistency on the challenges. Whatever they do, it could be any challenge out there. It could be something someone is on the road of making their first $10,000. They've made 30-day challenge, but they get stuck on the 10th day or 14th day. What requires a person to have the consistency in a challenge?
Your commitment, and just knowing that you follow through no matter what happens. If you woke up on the wrong side of the bed, if you had a personal situation come up, commitment doesn't care how you feel. If you feel tired, if you feel scared, you follow through. And commitment means not taking your successes or your failures personally. So even if you attempt that challenge and you fail, you get up and you do it again, you move forward.
Yeah, and that is the thing what most people miss out. I saw many people out there who started some sort of a challenges out there, and they never ended up just because of their lack of consistency, and they're not unable to do it, which is again crazy thing out there. So one thing that I want to ask is, what is the next thing that you're going for you? What is next for Marley, and what is the next thing that you're going for you currently?
The next thing, well, speaking of challenges, I have my video challenge that I put out every month, and it's done so well for us that we get a lot of people that ask us, how do I build a challenge in my business? So that's the next thing, is teaching people how to implement these 21-day challenges that, it takes 21 days to build a habit. And that habit could be whatever the topic is that you're teaching, but also it takes 21 days for that habit to be consuming your content, being part of your community, which then makes it easier to ascend them from this front end, low ticket challenge to then maybe your high ticket coaching program. So teaching people how to build, we call it an infinite cash flow loop inside of their business by having a front end challenge. So that's the next thing that we're building out.
So where can people find about you?
I would love for you to check me out on YouTube, Instagram, look up Marley Jaxx, or any one of our challenges.
Awesome. I was definitely going to put up all of the links out there in the show notes. And one thing I want to say before, rounding this episode up is your 2 Club is amazing.
Thank you.
And anything else that you want to say before we round this show up?
Oh, well, thank you for the opportunity to be here. And if I can leave with one message, I guess it was that last kind of thing that I said about just being committed and understanding that your commitment is how you show up to the world, how you show up to your business. And I love what Alex Charfen says, that if you don't have the business you want, it's because you haven't become the person who can run it yet. For me, my most important value is being committed. So take that into your businesses too.
Awesome. That definitely makes sense. And again, Marley, thank you so much for being on the show. Finally, we made it happen. And thank you so much for getting on the show. It was truly awesome to have you.
My pleasure.
Awesome. And guys, that is it for now. See you for the next episode. Until then.